What's going on, guys? It's Jay, aka It's Ghost Story, back with another Phantom Prey tier list video. Now this one, it's going to be kind of like my future hopes for SPs coming to the game. We haven't had a standard banner SP in a very long time, and I kind of just wanted to make a list of SPs I wanted to see in, ascending and descending order. And I would like to give my idea on kits as well as to what I would like to see. Just to start flat out. And oh wait, before we start actually, this video is made pre-recorded, obviously. Hopefully when I make this, it's not out, well, when I post this, it's not outdated. Considering the fact though that last year for JP, when they did SPs, they did it for first anniversary. And then the second batch of SPs came out 3 months later. And then the third batch of SPs came out like 5 months later. So we probably won't see any new SPs until like maybe March. That would be like probably their game plan. If it comes any earlier, then who knows. But we're going to start out with the Gojos. Now the reason why they're so low is because, surprisingly enough, there's a lot of options with Gojo that's already pre-existing. We already have a blue Gojo, but he is a Taijutsu unit. And we already have a green Gojo, and that green Gojo stays forever on the battlefield. But the SPs are supposed to be the free-to-play option. So how I would approach these kits, I would increase how long they stay, especially blue Gojo. Like, the fact that he only stays for 7 turns, and like, mind you, his ultimate doesn't have the craziest multiplier in the world. He only stays for 7 turns. Make that longer. Make it 10 turns. Make it 12. Make it something. Let him stay. Let him get his dukes in. Let him do the whole 9 yard. And since it's SP, it'll be like 2 things. I would probably choose his skill 3. To change into a 4-turn buff, potentially. 4-turn buff, and then like add on increased crit damage or something. Just blow everything away. And then same with like the green hollow purple Gojo. See, here's the issue with making him stay longer, is that you can make him stay longer, but when people use this unit, they kind of race to get to those last couple of turns where they're then like increasing the damage that the enemies take, plus buffing their own damage before they follow a hollow purple, and then he is forced to leave after using his ultimate. So I feel like if they were to buff this Gojo, they probably would just buff his skill 2 even further and buff his ultimate, most likely. I don't think buffing the amount of turns would benefit the character all too much. So that's why they're both kind of low. But I would still see them as fun options, even though for blue Gojo, we already have a blue Jujutsu that exists, and another blue Jujutsu, despite the fact you can't really use him on higher difficulty content and 81 and above. And for green, I mean, you already have this Gojo, but we're thinking about free-to-play options. Oh yeah, and we have Choso as another Jujutsu option. Next on my list of units I would like to see to get an SP, it's kind of in order. I would go with Nimble Body Yuji, and the reason why he's low is because I feel like he doesn't 100% need one, but he is certainly old enough of a unit where he could get one. Now, this Yuji, in specific, I already tell y'all this all the time whenever I bring up this Yuji, that he is strong enough to stand on his own. He doesn't need Toji to like combo together with him to really stand on his own 2 legs. Like I said, he is not mini Toji, he is Toji's rival. He can be just as strong as Toji, if not stronger. Now, the only issue I have with this unit and his base kit is that despite the fact he's a Black Flash unit, his zone state doesn't give him any cursed energy whatsoever. In fact, I think that his kit for the most part is just fine. Like if they were to give him an SP, I feel like give him like curse energy, give him like 10 CE per Black Flash. Make it like green Yuji, just straight up. Give him the green Yuji treatment. Give him the 10 CE when he Black Flashes, because I feel like it only makes sense because he's the Black Flash. You're gonna give him some curse energy, and I feel like he has so much going around built around his crit. I feel like either buffing the skill 2 and increasing the crit rate and the break damage, or just flat out buffing the crit enhance in general. Kind of just make him a Black Flash demon, because obviously all of his attacks are just one-hitting attacks. So it's not like you're like Yuji when you're playing with green Yuji and you have multiple chances to pop a Black Flash, or even blue Yuji where you will also have multiple chances to hit Black Flash. I think just making him have a higher likelihood of just hitting Black Flash off of those single hitting skills would benefit him a ton, plus the curse energy bonus, so you can keep doing skill 3, and you won't have those dead turns where you're forced to use skill 1, because this unit does suffer from that, where he's not getting enough curse energy and there will be dead turns. So he doesn't need it. He's still a very strong unit. He can still be used in like the latest of late red taijutsu content, but it would be cool if he got one, because it could just be a quality of life SP overall. Now, next up for me, I'm gonna put Dagon. And the reason I'm gonna put Dagon so low, despite the fact I feel like he needs it a lot, I feel like the rest of the units over here need it more than him. And on top of that, there's almost too much to not work with, but like too much to try and improve for Dagon to make a reasonable SP buff, because his skill 2 kind of sucks. His skill 3 before domain sucks. His damage sucks. His domain, the effect inside of it, sucks. His over dependence on a lot of curse energy, it sucks. His skill 1, it sucks. It's just everything's bad. Which is why I feel like if he were to get an SP buff, like it would have to be like an overwhelming, like they would have to like genuinely give Dagon the GOAT treatment. Like he would have to be best unit out the block type treatment. And I don't even know what they would do to be able to make this unit even worthwhile. But I know he needs it. Because like at the same time, I could just be, okay, buff his skill 3, buff his domain, make him mini Sukuna. But then like, I would want them to buff this part of the skill 3. But then what would be the usage of this skill 3? Because it's not strong of a skill at all. It's not really, like when you're playing Dagon, you're just spamming skill 2 until you got domain. And then you skill 3 for however many turns you can before you run out of curse energy, and you got to use this terrible skill, or you got to use this skill. It's not a great time. Dagon deserves an SP unlock, but his whole kit just has things wrong with it. And like, bro, like 2 SP slots ain't gonna be enough to save this man overall, unless they like overkill the SP. So he's lower, because I feel like an SP won't even save bro almost, but I still would want one. I'd want to see. Now, next up, I'm gonna be throwing down the boy Red Toto. Now you would think that we've had an anniversary where we have a green Toto who plays basically the perfect teammate possible for green Yuji. He defends him, he fights back, he does the whole 9 yard. We have a red anniversary Yuji. Why don't we just SP unlock the already existing red Toto, who works in a similar fashion to the current green Toto that we have? Because it's very clear that green Todo definitely took like the blueprint that red Todo had, but he actually made him into a good unit. Like if I were to improve this unit, I would buff the skill 2. I would turn this guy into like a red equivalent of Miguel. Make his skill 1 into like a debuff of sorts. Because when you're running this unit, I mean, 30 cursed energy on this skill is absolutely absurd, especially for only 109.20% of your physical technique. Absolutely pitiful. Like, if I were to do it, again, man, it would be skill 1, make it into like a debuff of sorts, because usually when you're running Todo, you're just popping blast from the pass and just playing tower defense with your teammate. Make this into a debuff, make it stronger, make it so like the more cursed energy you have, it does more stuff as well. Make him a budget red Miguel with team defending mechanics, so we can run him with him and just have a blast. And it would also spice up the red taijutsu scale, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like before this Yuji came out, the only red taijutsus you're really using for most of the content of the game is just Toji and Nimble, and most people sleep on Nimble. So for the past like year and a half, people have only been using Toji. Spice it up. Add some spice. That's what SPs should be doing. They should be adding spice to the game. We need some spice. Next, for SPs, I want to see Hanami. Now, the thing about Hanami is that I feel like Sumzap really did lean into that supportive role for Hanami, and I already have like a clear-cut idea of what I would like to see. The skill 3 and the ultimate. Now, the skill 3, I would like, if not only like enemies like dealt decreased damage, but I would like for the ult gauge fill rate to not only apply to Hanami. I would like to have the, like, it doesn't have to be the exact same fill rate, it could be a little bit lower, but have it so the ult gauge fill rate affects teammates as well. So like Hanami kind of becomes like the SSR equivalent of us bringing in like our Inu, or like SSR Inu, who's very similar in an aspect, like the free-to-play equivalent. And then for the ultimate, I feel like what we could do for the ultimate is that I feel like it could get like a passive where I would say like it could combine the skill 3 aspect and add another layer where teammates would receive less damage, and I feel like every turn that Hanami's domain is up, you could also receive cursed energy as well. Just kind of make Hanami into the ultimate support, like unique support, specialist support in ult gauge and cursed energy. Make Hanami a specialist. I would love that. Now we're kind of reaching into some pretty unique territory, so I'm gonna put Degumi into 5 because he's one of those units where I don't feel like he 100% needs it, but I feel like if he were to get one, nobody would complain and I wouldn't either. But I also feel like an SP for him, they could make it really mid, or he'll be one of the most broken units in the game all over again, right? Like I wouldn't even know what they would buff about him. But I feel like if they were, I would go this route. This unit suffers when he's not in domain. I would just add skills that would increase his survivability when he's outside domain. Give him guard, give him better defense, give him dodge when he's out of domain. And then, I mean, they could buff the skill 3, for example. They could buff, I mean, I don't, if they were to buff skill 1, dude, like holy, like it's already an oppressive debuffing skill in domain as it is. I feel like making skill 3 a more viable option for physical units could be a thing, or they just go the ghetto route where it's not only physical technique damage that gets debuffed, it's also hybrid jujutsu and taijutsu. So like instead of just having, or where's my ghetto? Instead of just having one, you got both, right? physical curse Nicken. Actually, does Degami doesn't do both. I swear he only does. Yeah, physical damage taken increase. Physical damage take, yeah. So I would want him to do both. Give that man both. Just give him both. Make skill 3 relevant. The same way how, like, I remember back then, at least from what I remember, like when people use Ghetto, they only use skill 2 for the longest period of time, and then it kind of just, now everybody uses skill 3 because of the SP. I feel like skill 3 could be made relevant for my boy. Let's see. Yep, okay. I was correct. But that would be my method for it. I feel like he deserves more survivability. And I would just say, maybe give that skill 3 a little bit of a boost. You know, instead of just... Because you'll have the choice between the skill 1 being that, like, flat damage dealt increase, or you would choose between the skill 3, which would be the physical technique or the jujutsu. And it would help with damage calculations, all the fun stuff. Now, next up is my boy. We're gonna put Inu in 4. And the reason I'm putting him in 4 is because I thought about it and I'm like, okay, Yaga is in standard banner. But for some reason, despite the fact he's in standard banner, he's been in standard banner for a long time, not a lot of people have him. Like, I have a lot of conversations with people about yellow stages. I'm like, okay, are you using Yaga? And they're like, I don't have him. And I'm just like, wow, you made it all the way this far into the game's content, into the 70s, and you don't have Yaga. Kind of blows my mind a little bit. But I imagine a yellow Inumaki being turned into a debuffer would be fantastic. Because, mind you, he does have the stop feature, which means he's able to nullify an attack that would originally kill a teammate, which is actually pretty great. He's also able to heal 3 times. He has a healing skill, which, mind you, it isn't the greatest skill, but it also doesn't take any cursed energy to use. I feel like if they were to give him skill like buffs, I would just buff his skill 2, and I would buff his ultimate. And I would just basically turn him into the yellow equivalent of Blue Inu, and it would be perfect. Just leave it at that, call it a day, and you got a bona fide free-to-play debuff option, another debuff option for yellow, and also another relevant Inumaki to use. So, that'll be the thing. Even though, despite the fact that we do have Yaga, we do have Megami as, like, the main debuffers. I mean, this guy... Oop, phone notification. But this guy hasn't been relevant since, like, quite literally ever. My bad, guys. I had to do a cut because my phone kept blowing up in the middle of recording this video, and I wasn't sure if my mic was going to pick it up or not, so I decided to cut the recording, and we're going to keep going right now. But yeah, next, Mahito. Now, my choice for this being is that despite the fact that Green Jujutsu does have some valid options, I again want to see the disaster curses all kind of get pushed into that meta relevancy once again. Mahito has been one of those certified carry units for so many people, and I also feel like the rest of the disaster curses are just kind of left out of the SP bunch, considering the fact the only SP disaster curse is quite literally Jogo, and I've tried to use this unit so many times, and I haven't found any joy using his SP. If I were to go the route for Mahito, what would I do with Mahito? I mean, you could just turn him into basically the green equivalent of his red self when he's just not transformed. Make him into a bit of a debuffer. Maybe give him the skill 1 debuff, skill 3 debuff, or maybe you can buff his ultimate, right? Or make him a more oppressing force on the battlefield in general. Either that, or I would just make him harder to hurt, you know? Maybe buff his skill 2 overall. Have him not only shrink himself, but also have him maybe buff himself simultaneously. Because the main game plan with Mahito, mostly people do. It's just like you hit skill 1, and then you just spam skill 2, get ultimate, pop it out. If you could simultaneously buff yourself while trying to build up that ultimate gauge, could just be a fine unit. And I'm kind of just biased because after using Mahito in my previous Illusory Tower Limited clear, I want to use this unit more, and I want him to have a stronger relevance in the game's meta. This is a unit that I would love to see get an SP. Now, at number 2, got Yellow Nanami. And the reason why Yellow Nanami is so high is because we need more relevant yellow taijutsu units to exist in the game. Like, there are 2 main, well, 3 technically, yellow taijutsu units that exist in the game. You got, that is not you, but you got Zonji, the main man. You got Toji, who I don't have, but most of the community don't have Toji because when Toji was put on global, it was so blatantly obvious that Toji was a bait banner that it wasn't even worth really summoning on. And then you have Yellow Mechamaru. Now, beforehand, a lot of people used to combine Yellow Mechamaru with Yellow Nanami if they didn't have Zonji, which makes sense, but I feel like an SP to make him a stronger unit as a standalone would be even better. And you know what I'm going to say, man? You know what I'm going to say? Listen, I don't care about that battle start stuff. Give him cursed energy when he black flashes. Why do we have so many units that don't get CE when they black flash? Just let him have it. Okay? And I would say this. Maybe buff the skill 2 and skill 3, or the skill 2 and the ultimate. That'll be like the skill buffs. I would make this skill right here. I'd probably also kind of buff this and maybe give it the crit decrease resist, or just make it so enemies take increased damage, or just give it like a higher likelihood to black flash, or give this skill like a higher likelihood to black flash. This unit deserves like a stronger place in the meta, concerning the fact that we're getting a lot of newer players, and from what I'm being told from y'all when y'all speak to me is that other content creators are also telling you to skip the Zonji rerun banner that's coming with the Anniversary Gojo and the Blue Sukuna. And if y'all do that, then y'all are going to be, well, I mean, you can't help but just be deprived of yellow taijutsu. And I feel like a free-to-play yellow taijutsu option being included wouldn't be a problem. Despite that, yes, Mechamaru is strong, but for some reason, some people just don't like investing in Mechamaru. Just because he's Mechamaru. But people love Nanami. Now, finally, the OG GOAT, Momo. What more do I have to say about the GOAT herself? The original carry your team throughout Tower, the character. I already said it before in the previous video. If I were to have an SP for this unit, all would be buff skill 2, but buff the percentages by however amount you want, but make it last 3 or 4 turns. I would love 4, but I'll settle for 3, even though 4 would be really nice. 4 turns, and then make it so this ultimate takes away 2 alt counts instead of 1, and I'd be sold. I'd be absolutely sold on this unit all over again. Because blue is missing a mono stat buffer. And if we can't have a mono stat buffer, we might as well just buff the only blue buffer that we could really bring on the 80s and above. Since we can't have it any other way, we might as well. So, yeah, that's my little list. That's my little list of SPs I would like to see and what kits I think they could bring. If you guys have your own list of SPs that you would like to see, or if you agree with mine, let me know in the comment section down below. And also, you know, peep out the other content, join the Discord if you like. We discuss things like this all the time. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. It's been Jay, aka It's Ghost Story, and I will see you guys later.